to the Overdose Composable Commerce Summit for APAC. We are thrilled to have you here today. A little bit about Overdose. Obviously, we are a complete commerce suite with over 490 staff across 12 offices globally, built out by Todd Welling and also Ryan Delaney 6 years ago. Started in a basement and now we are global leaders. We're thrilled to have you here because today and tomorrow, Overdose is bringing you to the top. We have got the top of the line innovators and the e-commerce experts here to talk to you. So we chose to proceed with a virtual event, not only to ensure the health of all of our employees, our speakers and participants, obviously considering that most of APAC, we're all in the same boat at the moment. So we're really stoked that you could be here online today. We're going to focus on showcasing the best-in-class e-commerce technology opportunities. Here, you're going to be able to connect with the experts as you as a merchant or business. We all know that great old saying that knowledge is power. Today, we encourage that industry engagement. Please reach out to the platforms and the experts. They're here to answer your burning questions, perhaps even unlock an opportunity for growth for you. It's time to network, engage with the current clients and prospects that are here today. It's all going down at the Overdose Composable Commerce Summit. You're going to hear from our platform partners in a full stack capacity. They're going to introduce you to their market-leading technologies in this leadership and educational environment. They're going to showcase their capabilities in this really engaging way. You're able to post questions throughout the event, add comments. You can also head directly to the platform's exhibition booths where you can chat directly to the expert teams behind the tech. I like to think of the full composable stack like building a house. So today, we're going to start with your foundations, your walls, your windows, and necessities. In today's lineup, we're going to cover the back-end text of Composable Commerce, which features Adobe Commerce and Commerce Tools. Then we're going to branch into your front-end solutions, featuring Frontastic and Deity, before diving into CMS, the Content Management System Solutions. That's where you will meet with Contentful and also Content Stack. We have an amazing lineup of compelling and engaging speakers, but before we jump into it, I have got the privilege of introducing the highly acclaimed Managing Director of Google Customer Solutions across Australia and New Zealand. John Ball is a senior business leader with over 35 years of experience. He's gained this from leading organizations in a diverse range of regions, including China, USA, and of course the broader APAC region. John's got a proven track record of leading sales organizations, exceeding sales targets, solving businesses' challenges, and then returning businesses to strong growth. Prior to Google, John spent over 17 years with Microsoft leading out the sales teams across the globe. Those guys, they delivered strong sales results each year. However, for the past 5 years, John has been leading the Google Customer Solutions business for AU and NZ. Over this time, he's grown the business by over 300%, making the AU-NZ business one of the top markets for Google globally. Here to provide you with all the elite insights and a focus on customer behaviors, please join me in welcoming Google's AU-NZ Managing Director, John Ball.
Thank you very much, Raven. When I was listening to the introduction, I'm thinking, who are you talking about? And I thought maybe you must have been speaking to my mum. I think she'd actually maybe describe me in some of those ways. But it is fantastic to be here today. It's really quite a privilege to be here with you and showcase a little bit about the technologies, what's going on, some of the insights and some of the trends we see happening across the marketplace as well. With that, let me make sure that the slides can be seen. There they are, fantastic. We thought we'd theme this first one appropriately, so it's a little bit in the retail space. Background about me, certainly, it's actually now 7 years at Google, and the time has gone by so quickly. It's been such an amazing journey. The space has just evolved so fast and the business has gone incredibly well, incredible people, and just an enormous amount of fun every single day. Let's jump to this next slide. Who can remember, actually, a little pause here. I'm actually doing my own slides and I'm actually saying, let's jump to the next slide. So that's something, a little catch for myself. All right, we're here. So some of the things that are actually changing and the world 2 years ago to now has really changed quite a lot. I'm going to focus a little bit on Australia and New Zealand stats, but broadly, these are applicable both for the APAC region, but also globally as well. the start of the pandemic to now, it's been such a change, and especially for Australia. We think of households that have now come online. We're now over 9 million households have shopped online in 2021. Pre-pandemic, it was sub 7 million. So amazing growth. And we know there's about, give or take, 10 million households in Australia. So the vast majority now have come online. We see them transacting, and we see that growth continuing to accelerate. As you can see there, 85% e-commerce growth over that period. But the interesting thing is, I look at what's happening in 2022 now, we're seeing that growth continue. Absolute growth, query growth. People have, over this pandemic, come online, but they continue to transact and really be entertained, shop, educated online now in greater volumes than ever before. Now, the yellow box is probably the most interesting stat we have on the slide, which is 20% forecast to be the amount of retail that will happen over e-com, which is actually really interesting. And if we go back to where we were, say in 2019, it was about 10% of the total retail was actually online. So that transformation is incredible. We've seen at the end of 21 going to 15%. You probably think 20%, that's still very small. It's a massive shift for Australia. And we compare ourselves quite a lot, say, to the UK. And the UK, when we were at 11%, they were about 25% of retail being online. And so what you see in that is that there's still a tremendous upside and opportunity as more businesses, more individuals continue to want to be transacting in this seamless way, which is really, really exciting and creates incredible opportunities. But today, I really want to just have my comments. Understanding the world has changed and the pandemic has changed the way people, shop, get educated, entertain, all those things. But what do customers want? And how do we, as customers, consumers, businesses who are servicing these customers, really provide the best? What we've seen is that customers want us to be able to own the entire experience. So the retail customers to really, whether that's the web landing page, but all the way through, they want to have seamless experiences from offline and online, and really have those worlds really merge together. And what consumers are wanting, their behaviors are actually changing. And let's take a moment just to step into each of these areas and just share a little bit about what we see going on. And we have an interesting lens because we see as people's behaviors are changing, we see that a little bit by what they're searching for. Consumers are expecting more from retailers. We're seeing a 70% increase in people wanting same-day delivery. They ordered something, they want it now. They expect it to be with them straight away. Logistics and supply is super important. What we've seen, this is actually some analysis out of New Zealand, was that consumers want reassurance. 30% increase in people searching for reviews. What are people saying about this retailer, about this business? And they're also, because they're shopping more online, they're also an increase in looking for what are the return policies. If I don't like it, what can I do? So much more reassurance and wanting to build more trust based on what other people are experiencing with the brands. I want to just to quickly share my own customer experience over the pandemic and how it really shaped the way I think about some things as well. Over the pandemic, as many of us have, we've got into different experiences. I started to really enjoy ocean swimming. And I purchased a wetsuit, this one, Roka, from a company in Austin, Texas. And I did some research and spoke to some people, some friends and others. I purchased it as a great wetsuit, but that's not what I tell people about my experience. My experience that really blew my mind was I actually received it in 3 days. I placed the order, in 3 days, I had it in my hands. And that's the thing that I share, that customer experience, where I had expectations of probably a few weeks coming out of the US. It sort of really blew my mind, and it changes the bar on what we expect from our local retailers, global retailers, and what is excellence in that experience, and just really challenge all of us to think about how do we continue to shape and bring those experiences forward. As I said, there's this desire, people will still do things in store and offline, but they want that to be merged with our research and our digital experience as well. And what we're seeing here, and you can see from these stats, is that 65% we've seen an increase in click and collect. So they're actually going to do that purchase, but they want the immediacy of it collecting it up from the curb. And so we're seeing much more of that as well. They want the convenience of doing it on their phone, on their tablet at home, but they want that experience to pick it up straight away as well. A little example of really merging this world of online, offline. You can see in this example here where Mecca is asking the individual, a Mecca rep, about how can they help. And they're asking about changing eye makeup, examples. And you can see on the right-hand side, a live chat with an expert is showing them what to do. So this used to be an experience that was only going to happen in store, but now they're really merging these environments. And we're really seeing that this is actually helping drive greater customer experiences, but also delivering greater outcomes for them as well. So really thinking about what the customer wants and how to bring that to life. And overall, as a result of this pandemic, we're seeing behaviors actually changing as well. The sense of new ways of connecting with their friends and families, and this big increase in gifting and hampers. I'm not sure for you, but this is probably this year I received more hampers over this period than ever before. And I saw this stat, I thought, yes, it actually reflects my experience as well. So do you have those things about? Are you able to actually meet those needs as well? As we probably all know, YouTube is a leading video streaming platform. And we're seeing it somewhere where passions and interests really connect and come to life. My dad's 81 and I was over visiting. He's actually not well and on oxygen, a range of things. He has very limited mobility now. But one of the things, honestly, that brings joy to him is actually researching things on YouTube. He spends a lot of time researching whether it's native bees, whether it's, at the moment, his interest is in regards to orchids. And he's asked me to bring over a few ones that I have at my place so he can actually bring them back to life for me. It connects people's passions and interests in ways that we never thought possible before. You can see here some stats, 95% increase in skincare routines. Shop with me, people actually taking that and actually enabling those experiences. As you think about your own business and the passions and interests and how you connect, what is the experience I'll have on YouTube? And how does that actually bring your business, your values and passions that will actually help people experience that in different ways? I wanted to share a great customer story where it really used YouTube to help an Australian retailer, Seed Heritage, who started in 2000 in Melbourne, a successful retailer. They now have stores across Australia, across the region, Singapore, Hong Kong. The pandemic came and all their stores were shut down. They had to pivot very quickly to digital. Overdose worked with Seed Heritage to really build this integrated digital strategy to really connect with their customers in new ways. They had video, display, and search, of course. What they found is that using the YouTube platform, it really helped them 52% increase in online sales and an 18x return on ad spend. And the key very much is actually connecting with passions and interests, promoting the brand. And so when people were searching for the brand, they saw a lower cost per conversion, cost per acquisition, and that hence really increasing their return on ad spend. So again, the Overdose team did an amazing job. This actual example won the Overdose team the Premier Partner Award last year with Google for their work with online customers and online sales. A really great example of bringing this to life. So this is all great. We all know there's an opportunity, but what should you do today? How do you actually take it and do something with it that's going to help you transform and continue to grow the business? 3 things I just want to touch on quickly today. One was, think about that customer experience, not just the landing page, but how fast is it to get your product to the customer? What is that out-of-box experience when they open the packaging? When I received my wetsuit, they actually had popped in there a free swimming cap as well, which was like, oh my goodness, I wasn't even expecting that. So as you think about that, how do those experiences come to life? Audit them, go through them. The next piece is make sure you have the tools and capabilities to actually measure everything. Measure the things that are important for you. Measure the things that are actually going to drive the outcomes that are most important to you. And the last part here is around if you settle for status quo, in regards to product and innovation, your competitors will actually move past you. Now, whether that's Google's products, whether it's all the other vendors you're actually listening to today and tomorrow, is what is your product innovation strategy? And it should be connected back into your customer experience and how you measure. If you can't measure the impact of what you're doing with the product, then you shouldn't do it. So I think there's this important connection across these pieces. I just take a little time on each of these. So in auditing your customer experiences, we actually have a new tool. It's free, it's online, that you can actually use that URL, get to it. And what it will enable you to do is to put your site in there. You'll put in there as well what retail vertical you're in, and you'll put some other high-level information, and it'll actually do some analysis for you. It will actually compare your site to your peers, and it will come back with a series of recommendations. What are the things that you could and should be doing to improve? What do you need to do to move up and to be more competitive in your space? And with that lens on that customer experience, an important lens as well to continue to challenge and test and make sure that you're bringing out the best experiences. So that's a tool, but it doesn't obfuscate the need to really continue and be maniacal about how do you improve, what do customers want, and really having mechanisms to listen to their feedback as well. The best way to audit is to actually connect and ask those questions. So simple tool, but the premise is very much in alignment with making sure you actually receive that feedback through and continue to improve. This is one tool. We have a number of other tools as well, like Test My Site for speed and others. Think with Google, you can see in the top right corner is where they're housed. And I do strongly encourage you, they're free and great tools to go and really experience what's going on and what your customers are actually experiencing with you as well. Measuring everything, it's obviously a broad and expansive term, but what do you do with it, and how do you ensure that you're actually getting the insights you need? If you're not today, make sure you're using Google Analytics. I was speaking to a customer once some years ago, and we were having a coffee together, and they were chatting about things, and they said to me, look, we measure nothing. We just keep on spending, and we just look at one number, which is our overall revenue. And I actually said, look, that's great, but you're going to get yourself in a lot of trouble because you don't know, what are your most valuable customers? What customers represent the greatest lifetime value? Where are they coming from? What demographics? What geographies are the ones that are actually the best for you? And understanding what's the best, how do you actually increase your marketing efforts into those areas? The analytics platform provides all of that: customer sources, conversion rates, bounce rates, time on site. Really takes some time to do that. Again, a free tool that's there that really provides some deep insights and a greater platform for you really to gain perspectives on what's actually happening on your site, and will enable you to tweak and to tune the business in the best possible way. So definitely take some time on there. Now, if you actually have bricks and mortar as well as online, there's a whole range of tools as well that you can actually have a look at. Measuring that offline actions, store visits, store sales, taking your first party data that you have, pushing that back up online, and so you can marry the two together. What we have found in many traditional bricks and mortar retailers is that when they understand the full value that online's driving, that's not only driving e-commerce transactions, but when you can actually correlate that to in-store traffic, it really makes a tremendous difference. And it really has helped many retailers then say, I can see that in doing this, it's bringing more people into store. It's driving these outcomes because they can actually see how the two are actually interplaying together. The last piece is actually not here, but I do want to mention as well, is that when I spoke a little bit about YouTube, we have a thing called a brand lift study, where you can actually, again, measure what's the impact of exposed consumers who've actually seen your ads on YouTube. How have their impression of your brand changed? And we'll do that to exposed and non-exposed, and then you can actually see what's happened. And of those people that has been exposed, what has their ultimate outcome been? Have they purchased? What's their sentiment towards your brand? So again, this sense of measuring is so important in the digital world, because if you measure, you can understand, and then you'll know where to double down and what things to do more of. The last one I want to just touch on is privacy, and how this is really reshaping the way we're working. And as we've all spoken about, a cookieless world, what does that mean? My one recommendation is, firstly, understand your own data strategy for your business. What is it? What are you doing with it? How is it coming to life? So really taking some time on that, number one. Number two, we have a thing called enhanced conversions. So there's a little bit of work to do, but when you actually have enhanced conversions in place, you get a greater level of understanding on where the conversions are coming from, and will really set you up incredibly well as the privacy narrative continues to change, but you'll actually be able to understand where the conversions are coming from. So my strong recommendation on this privacy piece is take some time, understand what's going on, and making sure you have a strategy for both your first party, third party data, needs of the business today, and with the changes that are coming in the marketplace, what is that going to mean for now and into the future as well? Really important piece for everyone to understand and be bringing to life. Product innovation. And as I mentioned before, is that if your product strategy is sort of anchored in 5 years ago, you're going to be falling behind your competitors, and the world and the market has changed a lot. And I just wanted to, that's the actual meta point of what's going on. But the more definitive point here is that there's a range of new things that are coming out. So I just wanted to take just a moment on Performance Max, which you may or may not have heard of as yet, but really think about it as almost like the coming together of all of our different advertising and campaign types, using machine learning, AI, to really work out, should ads be posted with YouTube? Should they be displayed? Should they be searched? Should they be this? Should they be that? But it'll actually take all those different complex campaign types and perform the enacting of them, bringing them together to make sure you're delivering the best possible outcomes. So that's really important, particularly now and as we move forward, as that, again, retailers that embrace these changes, the ones that actually are forward-looking, are the ones that will always bring competitive advantage to their businesses. And there's always been waves of innovation that we've seen right from the start, right through to now and into the future, that will continue to evolve with us. So a strong recommendation is have a look at Performance Max, and also have a look at the best way for automation and to be really efficient in what you're doing is to make sure that all of your feeds are actually managed really well. Automation works really well when it has lots of data, and it has the right data that's actually inside the feeds that are coming through. Now that could be your inventory levels, the SEO tagging, all that information helps the overarching machine learning, artificial intelligence do a much better, more purposeful job in how it's coming to life, what it's doing, and how it's going to do the best things for your business in reaching your highest value customers in the most productive way. So again, feeds, Performance Max will be the two things, but I do think that beholden on all of us is to continue to look over the horizon of what's coming next, and what are the products that, again, anchoring back in customer experiences that will deliver the best experiences and help them, again, connect online, offline, best experiences to absolutely meet their needs as well. That's what I had with you. That's what I wanted to share with you today. Again, the world is changing a lot. There's so many things going on, but just wanted to try and simplify it down, anchor it on the customer, bring those pieces together to really deliver great experiences. I want to say thank you for Overdose for the opportunity of being here today and for sharing those things. And I guess I was going to say to Raven, we have a few moments for questions. Is that correct? No questions. Well, that is, I take that as I was very clear and concise on what I was putting forward, and so that I've answered all the questions on the way through. So that's actually wonderful. Again, thank you for the opportunity of being here today. I hope everyone has a really great conference. Lots of insights and new information comes out that will really help you as you work through your business and continue to drive incredible success, both here in Australia, New Zealand, and right across the region and the globe as well. Thank you so much.